5 years.
The time by Sagicor is
7 o'clock.
CVM News at 7 Wednesday, courtesy of
Your Love Lives On with life insurance from Sagicor.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, China Harbor Engineering Company contractors stage protest. Nation prepares for hurricane season. The untapped potential of segregated accounts. Tourism industry leaders react to U.S. travel advisory. In the business report, Kingston Wharves breaks revenue record in 2024. And in sports, West Indies women suffer crushing loss to England. Hello from Kingston, Jamaica. This is CVM News at 7. It's Wednesday, June 4, 2025. I'm Carolyn Brown. Thanks so much for joining us. This evening, 4 days into the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season, Prime Minister Andrew Holness is urging the country to adequately prepare for this year's hurricane season. He says he has made it a national priority to mainstream disaster risk management. The Prime Minister's call to action comes as the National Hurricane Center continues to monitor the Atlantic Ocean for potential storm developments.
Over 20 million people worldwide are reportedly displaced every year by climate-related disasters. And that's why the authorities at the National Disaster Risk Management Council meeting emphasized they are adamant at being proactive with the advent of the hurricane season. According to Prime Minister Andrew Holness, the government has developed a multi-pronged approach to reduce risk and to help the country maintain resilience into the season.
Our approach includes strengthening national institutions and legislation, and I'll speak about that a little later, investing in science, technology, and early warning systems, building capacity at the community level, aligning national planning frameworks with climate resilience, and ensuring that disaster risk reduction is cross-cutting, touching education, housing, health, infrastructure, energy, and the environment.
The Minister of Local Government, Desmond McKenzie, mentioned the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, is fully equipped going into the presumably active hurricane season.
I want to use the opportunity this morning, as I did last Wednesday in Parliament, to urge Jamaicans not to turn their backs on the various advices that will come. We saw the effects of Berry last year, and it was because we were proactive last year, we were able to come back in a way that a lot of people didn't expect us to.
The Prime Minister says within the span of the past decade, the country has demonstrated it is capable of responding effectively to disasters. However, reflecting on Hurricane Beryl, he identified some areas of improvement that the government needs to address to mitigate against potential threats in the future.
We must improve the resilience of our utilities. The JPS must undertake a comprehensive review of its distribution network and replace those compromised and broken poles, and as quickly as possible replace those that are needed to be replaced with concrete poles.
The Prime Minister closed the meeting by reinforcing the need for readiness and to permanently close all existing gaps relating to hurricane readiness.
There's tension in Mami Bay, Sintan, as truck drivers employed to the China Harbour Engineering Company staged a protest over unpaid salaries. The drivers expressed their frustration with the company's refusal to pay salaries owed for several months. They claim the company owes them millions. A truck strategically parked, blocking the entrance of the China Harbour Engineering Company construction site in Mami Bay, Sintan. A definite ploy by the drivers to get the Chinese manager's attention. Close by, the drivers encircle a security officer and Chinese construction managers. Several truck drivers are employed to truck construction material like stone, marl and diesel to the construction site. They say they are frustrated over alleged weeks of unpaid labour. One driver who supplies diesel to the company is allegedly owed over $11 million.
Truckmen have been here over 1 month now. They have been delivering marl. They have been delivering stone to do the Chinese contractors' work, and we haven't gotten any pay. We have a gas oil person who has been delivering gas oil to them over here. They have not paid him. They have owed him over $11 million. We, the truckers, are here. Some of our truckers, they are owed $1 million, some $800,000. So we are restive now. We can't stay here no longer and let the Chinese come here and owe us for 1 month and over 1 month and not pay. We need our money.
The driver further alleges during the deliberation, one Chinese manager made an explosive claim that he has connections that would exempt him from paying the truck drivers. The security officer tried to maintain order, assuring the men the situation would be resolved and appealed to them to stay calm.
Right now, we haven't seen anybody yet. We have been here. There's a security guy that's trying to tell us what to do, and we can't listen to the security guy because the security guy is not who pays. There's a China guy, he came out here. He told he told the guy that delivers the petrol that he has friends in the high government, so he doesn't have to pay because he owes them $11 million, and he's telling the guy that he has friends in government, so he doesn't have to pay him.
Now, during the heated exchanges, the manager told the drivers payments are only due after a month as per contract.
I gave you a contract. I gave you a price. We have the contract. We can pay for you, but we need the diesel to continue to stand. So we talking for the payment. We talking for the payment date. What payment date? The payment date is 1 month. We can check for the bank report. We can check for the bank report. We pay or not? We continue for pay or not? Where is we wrong?
Jamaica's tourism sector is once again in the spotlight, this time for a positive reason. The United States has eased its travel advisory, downgrading the island from level 3 to level 2. Now, while some industry leaders are calling it a game changer, others are urging caution and strategic planning. From cautious travel to confident bookings, Jamaica is one step closer to reclaiming the top spot on the global tourism map. The United States has lowered its travel advisory for Jamaica, a sign of improved safety and increased confidence in the island's readiness. For President of the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, Robin Russell, the advisory is a step that could pave the way for renewed confidence and increased bookings.
Level 2 is a step in the right direction. but it won't fix all our problems. I think when we continue on the path that we're on right now, Jamaica will be, far, far ahead of where other players are.
The downgrade comes just in time for the busy summer season, and Russell is hopeful it could revitalize key resort areas and boost energy in local tourist communities.
It feels like we're back in the days of when tourism was safe, when Salt Spring had many clubs up there, and that's what will happen. What will happen now is that these communities will start to come alive again. These local bars, these local restaurants will start to come alive, that people can go up there and really spend their money and have a good time without worrying about violence. So this is a step in the right direction, and I hope that everybody gets to see and experience the difference that it will make, and we won't go back to that anytime soon.
Now, while the downgrade is a major boost for the tourism industry, not everyone expects an overnight transformation. Chairman of Couples Resort, Lee Issa, welcomes the downgrade but urges realism.
I don't think you're going to see an immediate impact, but I think in the long term it's huge, and you're going to see Jamaica benefit from it. We're going to go from 4 million arrivals to 5 million and so on. And we're going to need it because of all these additional hotel rooms coming in. We have now the capacity to deal with large numbers of tourists, but we've got to make sure the infrastructure is in place. We've got to expand our airports to handle the new increases that are going to come by. Our roads, our water supply, our internet or cable, and our electricity supply has to keep pace with this boom that's going on now, not only in the tourism industry, but in the building industry in general.
However, with optimism in the air and an eye on sustainable development, Jamaica's tourism leaders are hopeful this change will be the beginning of a new and illustrious chapter for the sector.
CVM News at 7 will continue in a moment.
Join my private room. Only $1,000 for a grand time.
That I know me. We never said that. But who going to believe me?
That is correct. $4,350,000. Yes, go ahead. $4 million? I never approved that.
Yes, me go doctor tomorrow. So me have to get the money today, no longer. Then no me face that. We never make no record or beg nobody no money.
Deepfakes are AI-generated images and videos made to look and sound like people we know and trust. They're used to spread misinformation, destroy reputations, and are used to commit fraud and scams. Don't fall victim to deepfakes. Protect yourself. For more information, visit broadcastingcommission.org or scan the QR code on screen.
Yo, genius! We just get the Burger King Double King combo. One original chicken sandwich plus a Whopper Junior with cheese. Well, 2 sandwiches enough. Plus a small fries and soda for only $1,300.
You use the new rubber money. You did say the money can stretch a Burger King.
Me mean you get more food for your money. One combo, 2 sandwiches.
So you want I go eat whole 2 sandwich, brother? My belly can stretch, you know.
Get the BK Double King combo. Limited time only at Burger King.
Welcome back. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton, while donning his political hat, addressing Labourites at a St. James West Central constituency meeting, promises to deliver Cornwall Regional Hospital as the most modern hospital in the Caribbean. He also claimed the opposition People's National Party, the PNP, contributed to the hospital's decline while in government.
Much has been done to return the Cornwall Regional Hospital to wellness since the Health Ministry started its rehabilitation and renovation project in 2017. In April, the renovated administrative block was reopened after its 2009 closure, signalling the final stretch of the hospital's overhaul. However, Member of Parliament Dr. Christopher Tufton has accused the opposition People's National Party, the PNP, of neglect for what he calls the collapse of the Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James. His accusation is the PNP failed to properly fix major issues at the Western facility during its tenure as government. He further accused the PNP of neglecting to fix the hospital's poor air quality that he reports deteriorated rapidly in 2006.
The PNP is not an innocent bystander as it relates to the collapse of the Cornwall Regional Hospital. They must take responsibility for putting the hospital in the state that it became, that Labour Party had to now come to the rescue of that hospital. From as far back as 2006, Cornwall Regional had air quality issues. They did nothing but take a band-aid approach to trying to repair that facility.
Dr. Tufton asserts it is the governing Jamaica Labour Party administration that rebuilt the hospital after the PNP's neglect.
The hospital was literally on life support. And we took the decision under the leadership of Andrew Michael Holness to just broke it down and just rebuild a new hospital, the new Cornwall Regional Hospital.
Minister Tufton says with this building plan trajectory for the hospital, Cornwall Regional will become the premier hospital in the Caribbean.
I am telling you, based on the roadmap that we have and based on what has been done already, Cornwall Regional Hospital under the Jamaica Labour Party will become the most modern hospital facility, not just in St. James, not just in Jamaica, but in the Caribbean region. We have on Cornwall Regional compound 2 towers that the Labour Party has managed over the last number of years. It will have 800 beds, 14 brand new operating theatres, accident and emergency twice the size that it is now, and a range of additional services.
According to the Ministry of Health and Wellness website, several departments and services will be reopened over the next year. The facility will also have a new maternity suite, an intensive care unit, an accident and emergency department, a nursery and operating theatres. All facilities will also benefit from new technology.
2 public sector employees have been charged in a $1 million pension fraud scheme following a joint investigation between the Financial Investigations Division, the FID, and the JCF's Constabulary Financial Unit, the CFU. Ms. Dorrit Mullings, an administrative assistant at the Institute of Jamaica, and Orion Satchel, a life certificate officer employed at the Accountant General's Department, the AGD, have been charged with multiple offences arising from the unlawful diversion of pension payments. Mullings has been charged with possession of criminal property, receiving stolen property, and conspiracy to defraud. Satchel faces charges of conspiracy to defraud and misconduct in a public office. Investigators revealed between March 2017 and May 2018, Mr. Satchel requested and manipulated life certificates for various pensioners whose banking information was fraudulently changed to reflect an account held by Ms. Mullings at a local credit union. Now, this allowed 17 pension payments totaling over $1 million Jamaican dollars to be funneled into her account. The funds were withdrawn shortly after each deposit. The accused were arrested in April and May 2025, then formally charged following question and answer sessions with CFU investigators. The Revenue Protection Department, the RPD in the Ministry of Finance, and the Public Service identified the abnormalities pursuant to the Proceeds of Crime Act, POCA, and shared the relevant findings with the FID. The RPD's insights were instrumental in tracing the financial irregularities and identifying the perpetrators, as we hear from Commissioner of the RPD, Cranston Morgan.
At the RPD, one of our primary roles is to investigate, detect, and deter fraud and corruption involving government revenue. We take a multifaceted approach to protecting revenue through direct investigations, supporting other agencies, and strengthening systems to prevent abuse. This case is another demonstration of the critical importance of cross-agent collaboration in detecting and addressing fraud. It reinforces our commitment to protecting public funds and ensuring that individuals who attempt to defraud the state are held accountable.
Companies seeking to operate multiple bank accounts under one umbrella without the need to form several standalone companies can do so with segregated accounts. The Regulations Committee of the House of Representatives met today to review the forms that prospective account holders would use to be granted such a privilege.
A segregated accounts company is a company registered under the Companies Act, which comprises of one or more segregated accounts.
The Regulations Committee of the House of Representatives on Tuesday deliberated on the transformative potential of the Segregated Accounts Companies SAC Act. The members assessed the validity of the forms that entities would use to segregate their varying accounts. According to Crown Counsel in the Commerce Ministry, Janika Allen, the Segregated Accounts Act is intended to make it easier for firms to manage risk and organize business portfolios.
As such, the Segregated Accounts Companies Forms Regulations 2025 was promulgated on February 4, 2025 to provide the requisite forms for an application for registration as a segregated or incorporated segregated accounts company.
Segregated accounts serve as separate bank accounts where a company holds its clients' money individually, preventing it from mixing with the company's funds. According to Ms. Allen, it ensures that client assets are protected in the event that the company folds.
This may be particularly attractive for companies which manage separate investments or other portfolios. Further, it prevents winding up procedures for the entire company at the termination of each portfolio. Instead, it is now an administrative procedure.
Segregated accounts are not only for specific companies, but also can be used by a wide range of financial institutions. Ricky Davis, Acting Chief Executive Officer for Jamaica International Financial Services Authority, says that the segregated accounts can be utilized by any incorporated company for ease of business.
It's quite possible for them to have a segregated accounts company where each project is a segregated account. And so its assets and liabilities remain in that account, and however well or not well it may do, as the case may be, will not affect the others. So that's one example that I would give of how it may be. Now, in terms of who owns or has rights or interest to each segregated account, it could be. So that's in the one instance where you're doing development. Let us say in the instance perhaps where you're using it for the purpose of managing investments. So each segregated account may either segregate it by class of assets or you may segregate it by client.
Angela Melville, CVM News.
There's still more to come after this.
Relay for Life is back. Join the Jamaica Cancer Society on Saturday, June 7 at the Police Officers Club in Kingston. And let's walk, dance, and celebrate life together. From 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., we're honoring survivors, remembering loved ones, and standing strong in the fight against cancer. We'll have lots of prizes and surprises for the best teams. So form a team, purchase Luminaria bags, and let's relay for life. To register your team, visit www.jcs.live or call 876-927-3317. Brought to you by the Jamaica Cancer Society. Walking together with hope.
I always said I wanted to be one of the best players in the world. I've been saying this for a long time. I don't know if I'm ever going to be, but it was the first time Jamaicans were going to see me play. I couldn't even believe it myself. And when the national anthem was playing, I almost felt like I wanted to cry. When I was younger, I used to like Thierry Henry and Ronaldinho a lot. Especially Ronaldinho though, because Ronaldinho used to be flary, and I used to say, yo, I want to be flary like that.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why I'm a dribbler.
Yeah.
Thanks for staying with us. Time now for regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. A steadfast advocate for judicial independence and a leader who always advanced the rights of Caribbean people. Some of the phrases used to describe outgoing President of the Caribbean Court of Justice CCJ, Justice Adrian Saunders, who heads into retirement after almost 3 decades of service. Justice Winston Anderson, a Jamaican and Barbadian national, is the incoming President of the CCJ. More from Newsroom Guyana.
Justice Saunders has been a guiding force for Guyana's judiciary, a jurist who has championed access to justice, human rights, and fairness, and demonstrated an abiding commitment to the highest standards of excellence. Justice Saunders exudes humility, listening keenly to contributions made in discussions on various legal and social issues, adding profound nuggets of wisdom in these engagements. And of course, we have observed him as he presided in cases, asking probing questions of counsel so that justice can be attained. He leaves an indelible repository of jurisprudence on the legal landscape of the Caribbean, and indeed the Commonwealth, and is a demonstration of why we must not be afraid to embrace our own.
The reality is that under President Saunders' leadership, the CCJ has remained a beacon for judiciaries across the region and internationally. Under his forward-thinking approach to court administration, the CCJ has been exemplary in strengthening its accountability and transparency and in enhancing access to justice.
In Barbados, scabies has been identified as the cause of an outbreak of a skin infection at the geriatric hospital. Health officials say patients were partially treated before it was officially diagnosed among patients and staff, as we hear from CBC News Barbados.
Health officials are investigating an outbreak of scabies among some patients at the geriatric hospital. 9 patients have been seen by dermatologists who provided the official diagnosis and initiated treatment for the skin condition. Contact tracing has also begun. Infection Control Officer for the district hospitals, Alvin Hart, says this is not the first time scabies is present on the island.
We're investigating who probably was the first case at the geriatric hospital. It could be many things. It could be a person who came in, as you said, a visitor. It could be a new admission. So with that in mind, we have to even look for it. We go look back. We're looking back to see and bring it right up to what is happening now. We have not come out with an official source of the infection within the hospital.
Consultant physician for the geriatric hospital, Dr. Shana Paris, says both patients and the staff are being treated, and they have reached out to the private sector for assistance in sourcing the treatment for the skin condition.
And in international news, millions of Muslims from around the world are in Saudi Arabia for the annual Hajj. More from Al Jazeera.
This is the first day of Hajj. It's called the Day of Tarwiyah. This is when almost up to 2 million pilgrims move from Mecca to a suburb, a holy site called Mina. They spend the whole day preparing themselves and resupplying themselves, making themselves ready to move on to the Mount of Arafat, Jabal Nur, or the mountain procession of light that will take place tomorrow when they move there and spend the whole day supplicating, trying to cleanse their sins, asking God for forgiveness. This is a lifetime religious obligation, once in a lifetime, and people come from thousands of miles from all the corners of the world for this special rite. Also, this year, because of the excessive temperatures and because of what happened during the previous Hajj seasons, particularly last year when 1,300 people lost their lives because of stampedes, because of excessive temperatures.
Well, back in studio, we want to now find out what's coming up in sports, and Jordan Fort is here to tell us. Hey, Jordan.
Hi, Caroline. Well, not such good times for the West Indies women, going down to their second straight defeat to England women on their tour. A little bit of following in the footsteps of the men's team. The Reggae Girls going down 4-0 to the United States of America in their friendly international. Plus, internationally, we're talking about a few legends. Cristiano Ronaldo on the score sheet for Portugal in the UEFA Nations League, and Novak Djokovic seeking his 4th ever French Open title, getting by Alexander Zverev in a thriller. That and more coming up in sports.
All right, thank you. Wait up for Jordan. Don't go far, because we'll be right back after this.
Save when you charge your electric vehicle with JPS. It's even more affordable than gas. Our Charge and Go network offers the fastest electric vehicle chargers, so you can power up in as little as 30 minutes. With over 39 charging points island-wide, you'll always find a convenient place to shop, eat, work, or relax while you recharge. The Charge Lab app and Charge and Go RFID card make it easy to pay and track your charge right from your phone. Start charge. Learn more at jps.com/charge and go.
The crispy barbecue zinger from KFC. Available for a limited time. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
The time by KFC is... Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's a live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yes. Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Thanks for staying with us. Also from the news desk, the business report with Joel Crossgill.
Lots to share with you in the business report today. In examining the wake of performance of a storied Jamaican company whose 24/7 operation of the Caribbean's leading multi-purpose port terminal and logistics provider contained a peak of performance never before seen in the now 80-year history of the company, as described by CEO of Kingston Wharves, Mark Williams, who did a deep dive into the group's performance arising from the 2024 annual report at the recent AGM.
I think it is just fitting that in our 80th year, Kingston Wharves exceeded so many financial milestones. In 2025, we delivered revenue of $10.7 billion, the largest revenue position in 80 years. Our net profit, I want to be very upfront, of $2.6 billion is a commendable outcome, which is in line with our expectations as we reinvested in strategic projects and we absorbed higher operating costs. Despite these increasing costs, the company maintained a healthy balance sheet. You see total assets of $60.6 billion, again 3% above, and we had healthy, strong cash flow throughout the year.
And over a 5-year historic horizon, Williams revealed that revenue acceleration for core port operations has been moving at a rate of knots.
Over the past 5 years, we have increased revenue by 50%. If you look at operating profit, again, increase by 23%. Solid performance, but what are the drivers for these wonderful performance? Again, if you look over the past 5 years, I like to look at trends because it tells the story. Container business increased by 34% over the 5 years. Multi-units business continue to grow 46% over the past 5 years. Break bulk, this is your edible oil. Bulk cargo, your edible oil, your salt, your grain, grew by 32%. Break bulk, your lumber, your steel, as you're aware, we are a multi-purpose terminal, and therefore we have varying cargo types that we manage. And you see our break bulk cargo grew by 64% over 5 years. Our net profit, I want to be very upfront, of $2.6 billion is a commendable outcome, which is in line with our expectations as we reinvested in strategic projects and we absorbed higher operating costs. Despite these increasing costs, the company maintained a healthy balance sheet. You see total assets of $60.6 billion, again 3% above, and we had healthy, strong cash flow throughout the year.
KWL's logistics business has also anchored the record performance of the group.
We moved that business to $3.9 billion. I think this emphasizes shareholders our continued focus on this area of growth. As part of our long-term vision of transforming into a comprehensive logistics hub, Kingston Wharves, your company, has made significant strides in expanding our warehouse and logistics footprint in 2024. You'd be aware of this major development on Ashenine Road, the KWL Logistics Park. We are extremely proud of that development. It is already fully tenanted and just continues to show the discipline and very focused investment that we make.
In 2025, that focus is set to shift towards a strategy that positions the company to potentially double revenue.
The goal here, ladies and gentlemen, is to drive growth through targeted acquisition and partnership in regional market. We have established ourselves as the Caribbean leading multi-purpose terminal. It's only logical then that we try to replicate our successes across the region. The plan is to identify high potential market across the Caribbean and Central America and to execute value-added acquisition to scale operations and strengthen our regional footprint.
Interest in exporting operations to the western half of the island also persists, according to the CEO, while the capital's skyline and capacities for vehicle storage is also set for change as a major construction project comes online.
In this new chapter, I shared with you our intention to construct a multi-level car park to accommodate our growing multi-unit business. We have moved in excess of 170,000 units over last year. We moved cars to 45 destinations. Australia, New Zealand. There's a deal that was closed with our partners with moving cars now from India to Jamaica. I'm very pleased to announce that on Monday, we signed the first MOU. We're about to send the first deposit for the construction of this best-in-class multi-level car park. We want to reduce our reliance on core shipping services by expanding into complementary and higher margin businesses. And again, this is just, basic common sense, I think. The idea here, as I said, it's about Montego Bay, to develop and scale logistics solutions, not just in Montego Bay, but across the region. We want to look at last mile delivery, product assembly,
like car entertainment systems, GPS and the like. However, according to Williams, digital innovation may